I think anytime you can change the culture of a team, and undoubtedly we were a losing franchise for 5 years, and to get that turned around and head the right direction it's a big deal. I remember when I would play at University of Oregon, we had 34 years of futility, and we were able. In my senior year, we were able to change that, get to the tournament, and do a lot of great things. And I feel that really, kind of encapsulates what we've done here. We've got Dwayne and Tony and Ron and this great group of guys who came together and cared about each other, loved each other, and the results you saw on the court were great.
With Dwayne, what's the next step for him? I know obviously he had great success in his first season here. So how do you go about approaching next season and perhaps trying to get him back here?
Well, he's signed for this year, and so he will be back, and we'll just continue to work as we have this year, and keep trying to get better, and find different ways to improve each other, improve each other, our team, all that. But what I like, one of the things I like what we did this year is we also kind of restored our cupboard of players a little bit. We've got a lot of players I think that we could see come back from this unit, which is great because the more continuity to get, it's easier for the coaches. It's easier for them. So that's definitely a goal for this season, this off season, is get a lot of these core guys back and try to sprinkle in some other players with them.
When you take a look at your role, you're kind of the face of this franchise. So what did you learn in the first 5 years that made you a better president, a better GM in this season? And you say, you know what, the light kind of flipped on for me.
Well, I think the one thing is I got the right coach. That was a big part of it. My role didn't really change a ton. I think more than anything, I think the one thing that helped change things, I think Dwayne and I see the game and see basketball the same way and see players the same way. And so, there wasn't too much push or pull. I'd come and say, I think I want to bring this guy in, and Dwayne would incorporate him, and it worked. It was a great partnership, and I look forward to seeing that grow. And if I look back and think of some things I did differently this year, I definitely hung on to guys longer than I probably should have, like the Walker Russells of the world. Great player, good person, but not a good fit, and wasn't helping our franchise. And when we were 3-10. That's even before that, I could see the way things were going. I just was not going to let us go down that road and hang on to guys just because they're, we want to be loyal. I want to win, and that's I would probably say the tipping point for me.
Do you feel like we kind of saw that when you did make moves, as the guys that you brought in were immediately impactful and throughout the course of the season really gave you something? You want to talk about, before Herringody went down, to trade the #1 pick in the draft in Juwan Johnson for Herringody, considering where Juwan Johnson was, that turned out to be a great move for you guys.
That's right. Well, I would definitely say my leash was much shorter this year. I had Sean Sonderleiter on our team. He's been a great Mad Ant for a number of years, but Brandon Wallace came in. I just knew Brandon was a better player. I wanted to bring him in, and Brandon was a rock for us. Juwan, all types of talent, but boy, it didn't work for him this year in the D League, and I could see that early. And I had a chance to pick up Luke, and I had no problem giving him a first rounder and Juwan to get Luke, because when Luke was here, it just got everyone pointing in the right direction, and he had a real impact. Unfortunately, he wasn't here long enough, and boy, I would have loved to see where we would have ended up with him all year long and healthy, and Ron healthy. But he more than helped our franchise. So all these deals really helped, and most importantly, Dwayne and the other players just were able to incorporate and it was seamless transitions in every case. So, the credit really goes to them for being able to take these moves and do something great with it.
Now that you guys, as a franchise, have kind of figured everything out, got the first taste of the playoffs, how do you continue that momentum, and what do you carry over to next year that we can see the Mad Ants in the playoff hunt year in and year out now?
That is the goal. I'd love to be like the Atlanta Braves, where it was just so boring. They were always making the playoffs every year. That's a great problem to have. And I think, continuity with our coach. I think that's important, and the way he makes his players feel, the way he communicates. I think that's big. I think it's big to try and get as many of these players back as possible, and that's something that we'll be working on as soon as they get back from from Santa Cruz, getting, working towards next year, and then finding other players. Because we're not going to get everyone back, but we've got to get the same mentality, the same type of unselfish, caring, care for your teammate type player that we've had here, and keep building and keep finding the right pieces. So that's the goal, and we're already working on it.